Welcome back to the Isn't That Rich podcast. Today we're joined by two dedicated leaders who play significant roles in shaping the future of Harrisburg, Illinois. So first, we are fortunate to have Mayor John McPeak, a familiar face in both the city government and the local business community. He's a part owner in the popular Mackey's Pizza and has been a committed advocate for Harrisburg, serving in various roles for over 20 years.
Also joining us is Alex Jackson, who brings a wealth of financial expertise to her role with the city after spending 8 years in public accounting, auditing governments and non-for-profits. Alex joined Harrisburg's administration 3 years ago. Born and raised in Southern Illinois, Alex's commitment to her hometown shines through as she works to support and grow the community she loves. Welcome on, you guys.
Yeah,
welcome.
Thanks for being here this
Glad to be
morning.
here.
Yeah, and together they're going to help us kind of unpack a fun topic. I think it's fun. It's TIF, so tax increment financing, and how the funds are being used to help shape Harrisburg's future.
Good.
Yeah. So maybe we can start out by an easy question. What exactly is a TIF?
Alex, you want to answer that one real quick?
So TIFs, as you said, stands for tax increment financing. It's a way to help incentivize businesses to come to our area. So TIFs are identified by areas that need redevelopment in our community. And so then real estate taxes are generated that we can help in turn give back to them to invest in our community and bring new business and incentivize, new programs and revitalization of old buildings.
Very good. And I feel like you guys have been doing a lot of revitalization lately. You've been seeing some buildings come down and some buildings go up.
Yep.
So
Lots of moving and shaking happening in Harrisburg.
yeah. So has there always been a TIF in Harrisburg, or is this something that you worked to form, and what is it used for, I guess?
So there was a TIF in the past in Harrisburg. There was a Veterans Drive TIF in the past, and then it expired. And then the city reestablished a new TIF uptown. We called the Uptown TIF, and now we have the Veterans Drive TIF also. So we have two TIFs in town currently.
So there's not always a TIF going on?
TIFs expire after 25 years.
Okay.
TIFs expire, and then if a city wants to renew that TIF in that area, they can, or they'll move to a different section of the town to start a new TIF, and that's what Harrisburg has done.
Yeah.
Okay.
The idea is that you've revitalized that area, so then you would select a new area in your community that needs revitalization.
Oh, wow.
25 years is kind of a long time. Wow.
Yeah, and some of them go for 30 years as well, so they are a lengthy time period, but it takes a while to
bring people in.
Yes.
Think about how long it takes for any kind of new
Absolutely.
redevelopment.
Yep.
It takes time.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know this. There are two different kinds of TIFs. There's a residential TIF, and then there's a business TIF. Harrisburg has business TIFs. We don't have residential TIFs at this time.
So this is strictly all commercial
Right.
TIFs. Got it. So let's say a city wants to create a TIF district. So you recreated this different TIF district as you were talking about. What does it look like to do that? And what steps did you guys have to take to reestablish this new TIF district?
So it takes anywhere from 6 months to a year, and you have to work with the Illinois Department of Revenue, and you have to work with your local school districts, and you have to work with your local county, anybody that receives TIF or real estate tax funding as an entity that you're going to want to work with to establish a TIF district. And we specifically use Marion Economic Development out of Edwardsville, Illinois. Those guys up there are phenomenal, super helpful to help us get all that paperwork going and to do the studies and make sure that the area that we select is an area that could use some revitalization. And then once you go through all that process, the state will either approve or deny your TIF district. And so from there, you can either start, or you might have to go back to ground zero and select a different area or amend your map a little bit. But can't say enough about Jared and Jake at Marion to help you through that whole process.
Well, that's great. So you had some help along
Absolutely.
the way. It wasn't you creating
Absolutely.
the wheel.
Yeah, that is a very specific knowledge area, getting through all that government red tape. And so they're very helpful.
Yeah. Every town that has a TIF has a TIF administrator, such as what we have with Marion Economic Development. So we use them to to get our TIF started. And if somebody wants to use the TIF, they have to go through them also.
Okay. Got it.
So I know you guys have kind of touched on this, but where exactly does the money come from for TIFs? And who decides exactly how it gets to be spent?
So it's generated through real estate taxes. So we don't ever want to hurt anyone by establishing a TIF. So it's like frozen at that point in time when the TIF is established. And any increases in the real estate taxes, so any, revitalization, development, add-ons, that kind of thing, at that point comes to the TIF. So that's how the money is generated. And then we can use that pot of money to turn around and incentivize new people to come into, but it's generated through real estate taxes. And then so they would come in and apply, ask for funding, and we would take it to the city council, and the city council determines who gets what and how we allocate those funds out.
And typically you mentioned a map.
Yes.
So you have to be within
so you would want to be in the boundaries of the TIF district. And unfortunately that's tough. Sometimes we have to turn people away and we hate doing that, but if you're not in the TIF district, you can't get TIF funding, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. So that's where all the money comes from the real estate taxes. What is something that Harrisburg is working right now in terms of the TIF funding that you can talk about, I guess, some projects that you have going
currently, Harrisburg has 2 shopping centers that have been more or less abandoned over the years. And we had a person come in that was interested in buying the 2 shopping centers, and he has purchased the 2 shopping centers, and he's using going to use TIF funds to redo those 2 shopping centers, and he has potential businesses that are looking to come to Harrisburg in 2025 because of the work that he's going to do with those 2 shopping centers, and to make Harrisburg look great and because Harrisburg's a little hidden gem in southeastern Illinois. Everybody always forgets about Harrisburg, and I think the things that he's going to do for the 2 shopping centers is going to be huge for Harrisburg.
Yeah, and it's good to see these shopping centers come back to life. So many of them in the area have you can see shopping center after shopping center of kind of, the businesses move out. So to see somebody coming in and bringing more businesses with them, that's super important for our area.
And
I personally think the mall thing is gone from our country. And I think you're going to see more and more of these little shopping centers that are going to open up. And that's where businesses, even the big businesses that want to come to town, that's what they're looking for is to go in those little shopping centers.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of go back to where we talked about how it works. So if I'm a business and I come apply and I am in the TIF district and I get this TIF, how does that work? Is it one big distribution check that you give me to do it? Or is it, because I was part of a TIF that in a building I owned in Marion, and it was something every year when I would pay my real estate taxes, I would get a refund back from that. So how does that work with Harrisburg?
So we structure deals both ways. It just, I really try to talk to the investor and developer and see what it is that they need. If they need upfront funding in a flat amount to try to help them get into the community, or if they need, to be able to be sustainable for the next 10 years. So they vary. I've done deals both ways where we give them a flat check after construction is complete to try to help offset. And I've done deals where, it's over 10, 20, 30 years. It just varies as to what they need. For instance, Hollybrook, the big assisted living facility outside of town, they chose to take distributions over a period of time to help them with overhead costs throughout the course of their existence. So it just varies as to what the best thing is for that developer. And we really, really want to help them get into the community. So however we can help them the best is how we proceed with that.
I see. And then another question is, does that TIF, so say that developer decides to sell their business, does that TIF stay with the property, or is that, how does that work? I mean, that's probably the same, right?
The TIF does not stay with the property, unfortunately. We have had that happen in one instance. So once the building sells, it's no longer, that TIF is null and void. And if the new owner would like to come in and discuss possibly a new TIF, we would absolutely be happy to, facilitate in that way. But unfortunately, the old TIF agreement dies with the ownership of the building.
Okay, that's good to know, though.
Yeah,
for sure.
So what happens to that TIF money then?
It would just be regenerated into the TIF fund to be able to help, develop future projects.
Another TIF.
Yep. Another agreement with another person.
Interesting.
Yep.
So have you seen that a lot where people...
We've only had that happen in one instance, fortunately. Usually when, there's TIF money involved, it seems to help them get off the ground and stay in business. So we've only had that happen in one instance, and hopefully it doesn't happen again, because we'd like to see them be, long-term in Harrisburg.
Right.
So what are some other big wins with TIFs that you've seen at the Harrisburg? So we have this big, the mall, the strip centers are now being revitalized. Are there any other projects you can think of that are big wins with the TIF?
In the past, with our TIFs, we've done some infrastructure things. We built a new water tower in Harrisburg with the TIF funds, and just helping other businesses that have come to town. Restaurants have used TIF in the past. We have a couple of restaurants now that are using the TIF funds. So it's just different businesses that have came over the years, and any infrastructure that we can do in the TIF area, we can use TIF funds for that also.
Okay.
So not everything is smooth sailing, I'm sure. What are some bumps in the road that you guys have seen with the TIFs?
Well, one thing is that a lot of people have this perception that TIF is for everybody, but in that area, that's not the way TIF works. You have to own the property to receive TIF funds. You can't be in a building and renting off of somebody and think you're going to get TIF funds. TIF funds are only for if you own your property.
Okay.
So a lot of people get confused by how TIFs work. And I think that's one big thing that people don't understand. You have to own the property. You cannot rent the property from the owner of the property to receive TIF funds.
What if you wanted to buy a piece of property in a TIF district, then
we could assist.
If you want,
we can assist.
Yeah. Okay. If you wanted to buy, so say somebody was renting a piece of property, and then they were like, "Well, I want to buy a piece of property in the TIF area and redo my business there." Well, then they could come to me or Alex, and we would sit down with them, and they would give us their idea what they're wanting to do, and then we would turn them over to Marion Economic Development, give them an application. They would fill it out. We'd go from there.
So you got to own, or you got to be planning to own something.
Yep.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. And is it a good idea to get, when you're purchasing a piece of property, to start that whole TIF application process?
So if you think you're even looking at purchasing within the TIF, come in and talk to us, because the earlier we get involved, the more helpful we can be as far as incentivization and redevelopment plans. So we definitely want to be involved from ground zero if we can at all.
Yeah. So that was one really good misunderstanding that you clarified. Are there any other misunderstandings that come along with TIFs that you can think of that people should be aware of?
You have to be doing some sort of redevelopment. You can't just buy it as is. And it's not, I wish it was just free money to help keep businesses going, but unfortunately that's not how TIF works. So you have to be doing, changing the inside, changing your facade, adding on, doing something to, improve and generate more real estate taxes, because ultimately that's how TIF is funded. So if you're not doing anything to incur more real estate taxes, there's really no way to help continue the TIF district on, and therefore we can't help you.
Right. Yeah, that's good to know too.
Yeah.
That there has to be a redevelopment or some kind of improvement. So good.
Sometimes people say that TIFs don't help everybody. What do you guys have to say about that when it comes to just benefiting the whole community?
So one of the things we're doing, we've heard that feedback. One of the things we're doing right now is trying to apply the same percentage across the board to people who come in and request assistance. So say you come in with $1 million project, even though it's a larger project than say $100,000 project, we're still trying to allocate the same percentage to that project to help make it fair and equitable. I would also say that, while you may not be benefiting from the TIF money, you're benefiting from your community having this new business and having, new jobs and, generating more real estate taxes and more income taxes, more sales taxes, which in hope would, lower the tax burden for everyone in the community. So
yeah, and like you said, the water tower, that was a big thing. That's definitely benefited the community.
Yes.
Looking ahead at the future of Harrisburg, what's coming up next? Are there any new TIF projects? Can you talk about anything like that people should be excited about?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm really excited for the things that are going on in Harrisburg right now. Just the beautification, people cleaning up their properties finally. The uptown's getting cleaned up. I don't know if anybody's been to Harrisburg lately, but I've done a lot of beautification uptown. And I've used TIF funds for doing those things, like the new flower pots uptown.
Yeah.
All that stuff has been done with TIF funds. Just trying to beautify our community and make people proud of Harrisburg. Because Harrisburg, like I said, we're a little hidden gem over there.
You are.
In that little corner over there. Because Harrisburg don't have an interstate, and we don't have, a lot of people over there, but we have the people from all of Saline County, Hardin County, Gallatin County, Pope County, White County, even across the bridge in Kentucky. All those people have to come to Harrisburg to shop, eat, do whatever they want to do. Go to the doctor. They have to come to Saline County. Yeah. They have to come to Harrisburg. So having these new businesses use the TIF, and then the city being able to use the TIF funds to beautify our community and invite more people to Harrisburg, I think the next few years are going to be great for Harrisburg.
Yeah, when I first moved here, I was surprised at the draw that Harrisburg did have from all of the other communities around it. I mean, we have a place down in Elizabethtown, and everybody there, if they need to do their shopping, goes all the way to Harrisburg, which is, it's 30-minute drive to Harrisburg. So you are pulling in. Well, how far of a distance do you think? Is it 30 miles? It's quite a big range that you draw people from.
Like I said, it's come all the way from, I know people from all White County. They come to Saline County to, Harrisburg to do their shopping and do whatever they have, because we have the big box stores that everybody wants. We have the Kroger, we have the Walmarts. We have that. We have more coming. And so, we're excited for what's going on in Harrisburg. And, and Alex and I have worked hard to try to get new businesses to come. And we reach out to people all the time saying, Harrisburg is a place to be right now, because we don't have a lot of things like other towns do. So Harrisburg's a great starting point to be in right now.
I think that benefits investors too. Not having a lot of things means they're going to go to your one thing.
Right.
So I think it's a great thing for the investor as well as our community.
Definitely. What was it, the KFC that went in?
Yeah.
And it was like the biggest one in the nation that came, and that was a huge deal for Harrisburg.
Yes.
It is still so busy. There's a conference room in this KFC, which is a huge, but Harrisburg doesn't have a lot of that. So when a business comes in and puts something like that in, so business people can have a lunch in there, or they can.
Right.
So are you allowed to say any of these exciting new businesses, or talk about any of these businesses that are coming to town?
We're working hard on some things. We do have a Starbucks coming, but they're not using the TIF funds. But we do have a Starbucks coming. We have a new Scooters coffee. We have a new Scooters coffee.
You do have Scooters coming. Yeah.
And then we have some of our our existing businesses that are still doing great, like Steam Cafe, Mackey's, Morello's, Barbecue Barn, Rupert's. We have a lot of things going on, and we do have some new businesses coming in the new shopping center. I do know there's about 2 or 3 things coming in there already. And then I know we have another empty building in Harrisburg that a large store is looking at coming to Harrisburg.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. I think Harrisburg has the best food too. So I said Harrisburg, I think, has the best food. Like, we always want to go to Harrisburg and go to that Farmer State Bank so we can eat over there. So hoping you guys get some more food. So we've got more options.
There's definitely a restaurant on the horizon we've been working with.
Really? Perfect. So exciting.
I know you guys said people can come out if they are planning to do a business, come in and talk to you guys. But what if someone doesn't, they want to be an entrepreneur, be a developer? Can they just come in and talk to you guys, and you give them ideas about what you're hoping to bring to the city?
Absolutely. Yeah. So City Hall is open from 7 to 3, Monday through Friday. I'm pretty much there every day. John's there every morning. So we would love to have people come in and talk to us about how we can help, what we think would go over well. We know our population pretty good, so we know what our needs are, and we could definitely help them to, kind of come up with a plan. We also know a lot of the resources in the community that we could send them to help start maybe a business development plan and different things of that nature. So we'd love to have them come in.
I think that's great because, yeah, if people are just like, I don't know, maybe they want to move to Harrisburg or they don't really know what your needs are.
Yes.
That's a great place to start too.
Yeah.
And there's, in Harrisburg, there's a lot of things in the works right now for Harrisburg for some jobs to possibly come to Harrisburg. I know the city and the county board and, we're all working hard together to try to get a couple of companies that are looking strong at Harrisburg to bring some jobs to Harrisburg. They, anywhere from 50 to 100 jobs. And I see that happening in the near future.
That's great.
And, I'm just telling you, Harrisburg's getting ready to take off and I'm excited about it.
Yeah. And I think I saw more people attend this fall's Sasquatch Festival than I've seen at any festival in a long time. Can you talk about some of the things like that, community things that you guys have going on? I know there's a big Christmas thing about
There
to come
is a
up.
big Christmas thing coming up, and thanks to farmers for helping us get that happen. So we're really excited about that on December 5th from 5 to 8. There'll be free carriage rides, free hot chocolate. We've got a few other surprises in the works, free pictures with Santa. We're working on decorations today. They started putting them up, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely come out to that, but we're working hard on, community engagement and getting everybody, not just families, but all generations out to be involved in our community. So that's really important to us. We're just really excited about those developments.
We are. That, and to bring up, you were talking about Sasquatch Festival. We thought of that 4 years ago during COVID. We thought, man, we got to come up with something to do so people can figure out what, bring the community together. So at that time, there was probably about maybe 12 or 15 of us that were trying to come up with something. And we came up, well, maybe we have a Bigfoot festival. And then we were like, no, that Bigfoot, everybody says Bigfoot. So we came up with Sasquatch Festival. And that thing, this was our 4th year. The first year, it kind of rained on us a little bit. It was kind of small. Second year, it got a little bit bigger. Third year, got really big. And then this past year was by far the biggest year we've had. We probably had close to 7,000 people at that festival, and it was an all-day thing. We had a 5K, and Alex organized that. And she had like 175 runners for that and walkers. It was great. And the Sasquatch Festival, and another thing people don't understand, when we do these, it's all free.
Yeah.
So when the carnival, we get the carnival rides and all that, that's free all day for the kids to ride carnival rides. And the way we do that is through donations from the community to pay to buy, so we can get these things to come to Harrisburg. So we have a big heart over there, and I'm telling you, it's getting big. It's going to be big.
I missed out on the 5K
I keep saying big. It's going to happen.
Missed out on the 5K this year. I think a long time ago I did some kind of 5K, but that sounds like we need to. Did you do a golf scramble too or something? Did I hear something like that?
No, we didn't do the golf scramble.
Okay.
Sasquatch did putt a golf ball, though.
Oh, okay.
Sasquatch has done everything.
Sasquatch is very active.
Yeah. That's so
if you believe, he'll just show up.
So you guys, we've been talking about the business TIFs, and I know you said big things are coming. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if we keep doing the business TIFs and business development, we're getting all these new restaurants and all these things and new jobs. Do you guys see a residential TIF on the horizon? Because
so we've already started the work on it.
She's got it going on.
Yeah. So we're really excited about residential TIF. We're hoping that sometime in 2025 we can make some announcements regarding that. But we're hoping that the business side has been so successful that we can also help our community to revitalize their homes and develop some real estate in the area.
I think to me, that's like really exciting. And I know here in Marion, like obviously lots of businesses have been booming over here. And I know Mayor Absher gave a speech like at the last end of the year chamber thing, and he was like, we need people to build apartments and houses because we want to keep growing. And so I'm sure you guys have the same idea.
Especially with all the tear downs we've been doing. One of the things that's big on, we don't want to just tear down properties. We want to redevelop that property. We don't want to just continue to take away homes and not replace them with something. So we're working with a few different developers on building some rental properties. And we're working on the residential TIF as well, just to be able to do improvements to their homes, roofs, sidings, windows, whatever it might be that you need.
Right.
We're going to try to help with that as well.
So cool.
And we do have a in the near future. They should be starting real soon here, but we are getting a new 53 unit apartment complex. It's not really apartments; they're more like townhouses.
They're duplexes.
They're duplexes. So that will be built in Harrisburg, and then that's going to be down on Small Street. Close to the Veterans Drive, and then that's all in the TIF area also. And they will be using TIF funds to build that new apartment complex. And then also in that same area, we will be getting our first roundabout.
Oh my goodness, that's gonna.
When I first put that
roundabout in town,
when I first put that on social media, the comments were priceless about the roundabout. But I know some roundabouts can be confusing, but I think in the area that we're looking at putting a roundabout is a pretty high traffic area, and there's been a lot of accidents there, and there's really that's not a good place to put a stoplight or a 4-way stop sign. So I think with this new roundabout, it's going to keep the flow of traffic going, and I will personally educate the people how to go around.
Roundabouts always cause controversy, but I swear they're a good thing.
They are a good thing.
they're better than a stoplight, I think.
Yeah.
Phew.
I know that was when the little hometown I grew up in never had a stoplight. I always thought, man, if we get a stoplight, that's when we know we would make it as a city. But yeah, that's awesome that you guys.
So a TIF's paying for the roundabout.
No.
Actually,
the city.
This is what your money's going to.
The city. Alex and I worked really hard for the last 2 years on getting funding for a roundabout because I wanted a roundabout uptown on the square.
Oh, that would be
and
cool.
I got shot down on that really quick. not from the city, but from the state. And so then we got to looking where other places. So we kept talking to the state, applying. We did everything we were supposed to do. We did all engineering work. We did everything, and then finally this year we got announced that it's 100% funded for the whole entire roundabout from the state of Illinois.
Yep, it's a grant to the Illinois Department of Transportation. Yeah, the Highway Safety Improvement Program. Yep. So they deemed that a not safe area because of the accidents that have happened there. So they gave us a Highway Safety Improvement grant, and we're really excited about that too.
That's great.
And that also comes with new sidewalks, and that's right next to the new apartment complex that's going in. So there'll be new sidewalks to go to the shopping centers that are being remodeled, and the Kroger and Rural King are all right there. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, especially if all these businesses are coming in. You're going to need a place to house them. They're going to want to walk to go get groceries. It's all coming together. It makes sense.
It's great. Gosh, a lot of work, you guys, that you have to do, I'm sure. But
yeah,
it is. But we're
great.
excited. We're excited about things that are going on.
Yeah.
If you guys want to leave us maybe with one key takeaway about TIFs for our listeners, what would that be, each of you?
Well, we haven't touched on TIF facade grants at all.
Oh, let's talk about that.
So TIF facade is real easy for everyone to obtain. So I would like, for the viewers and listeners to know about that. So it's 50% match up to $5,000 for anything you want to do on the outside of your property. So if you want to replace windows, if you want to put in plants, if you want to put in a sidewalk, if you need to re-side, if you need, concrete, whatever work it may be that's outside on the facade of your property, it's going to qualify. And I feel like that's underutilized and it's not known about it enough. So if you, are in the TIF district and you want to do some work to the outside, easy, free, simple, couple line application, you can come in and get 50% of your project back from the city.
Wow, that's incredible.
And you said up to $5,000?
Up to $5,000, yep.
Wow.
So if I wanted to paint my house or put in a new sidewalk, that's all things that would apply.
As long as you're in the TIF district, it's super simple. Come and talk to us about it. And we've never not awarded one of those.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we've actually done quite a few of those.
We have.
Yeah. We just did one last week.
Yeah.
Is that easy to apply for?
Super simple. It's about 4 lines you have to fill out. Yeah. That's why I say it's underutilized. So come in and talk to us about that one because it's almost everyone gets it.
And now is that just residential or is that commercial as well? That same
anything that's in the TIF district. So if you are in the TIF district, your building qualifies.
Right.
That's awesome.
That's so good to know.
What about you, John?
Well, of course, I'm big on this beautification thing. Yeah. So my big thing is with the TIF funds that the city has extra to use. I want to see the uptown, even though our uptown don't have a lot of things going on, but I think the future and the potential we have going on up there with the old buildings being tore down, and the beautification, the flower pots, maybe more flower pots this next coming spring. Just beautification, and to see, new businesses come uptown and really promote our uptown.
Yeah. Okay. I know I'm kind of like you with the beautification thing. So I know in West Frankfort, I don't know if they did a grant or a TIF, I'm not sure, but they have gigantic flower pots. And I think that's such a draw to people because I know like when you go to Nashville or the cities and you walk on the, you do a lot of walking. Like I wish our towns were more like walking towns. Like I would love to see that happen. And so I'm glad that, we have these opportunities with the cities to make our cities more beautiful and safer and make people want to like go walk in these new little strip malls and all that stuff. Like I think it's great.
Yeah. Just putting those 12 big pots uptown, they're huge. I mean, Jill, you've probably seen them. I mean, they're huge and changing them out for every season. We got this year, we've already got Christmas trees in them now for, to decorate to put lights on. I mean, the community has just been really appreciative of that. I have not had one bad comment to myself about that. I'm sure behind my back they're really saying, "What the hell is he doing spending money on flower pots?" But once again, though, the people of Harrisburg, it beautifies your town. It makes people makes you proud to be from your town, and that's what I want to see.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So, last question: if you could use TIF money for anything in the city, no matter how crazy, what would it be?
The world's largest Sasquatch festival.
Yeah, that's good.
For sure.
Our ultimate goal is to make the Sasquatch Festival really huge. I mean, this year we had so many people from out of town, out of state that came just for the Sasquatch Festival. I mean, and us being right there in the Shawnee National Forest, we are the gateway of the Shawnee National Forest. And I think people come here. And I really want to see if any TIF we have, I want to just promote tourism. And if we have using TIF funds to do that, we're going to do it. Because the only way Harrisburg is going to survive is tourism. We don't have coal anymore. We don't have the big, Isons wanting to come to Harrisburg. But you know what? We do have those woods. And everybody loves that. And if we promote tourism in southeastern Illinois, all of southeastern Illinois will prosper and do great. And that's what's going to happen. I know it's going to happen.
That's so good. I know we have people come to stay at our place from all over the country. I mean, we've had people drive from New York. We had people from Louisiana last week come and stay and visit the Shawnee National Forest. So you're right.
And we have, we don't have a hotel. We have 3 hotels in Harrisburg, but they're small and they're older. Harrisburg does not have a hotel. And I'm going to tell you one thing. If I could get a hotel to come to Harrisburg, I would help you with all the TIF funds you want.
We are working on that hard.
And we do have a lot of bed and breakfast. We did a feasibility study for Harrisburg, and we do need a hotel. Yes. Feasibility study came back, and Harrisburg needs a hotel.
Yes.
And we've talked to a couple of developers about some hotels coming, and I think one will come. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Because we need that. But we have a lot of bed and breakfasts, like Jill was saying. I mean, there's my neighbors across the street from me, they redid their house and made it into a bed and breakfast. And the lights are on every night. I mean, it's rented every night.
Yeah.
And
there were people at this year's Sasquatch Festival that have already booked for next year's Sasquatch Festival because they know that the bed and breakfasts and the Airbnbs will book up for Sasquatch so fast.
Yeah,
definitely. Well, I'm so thankful you guys took the time out of your day to come speak with us this morning. It's been really, really fun for us.
That was good.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will see you next week.
So, Jill, where do we go from here?
Be sure to check out our show notes for this episode, and also be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our newsletter. And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.